Hello and welcome to the November edition of the Darlo Till I Die podcast. My name is Adam Cattell and season over? Well, you must be kidding. Darlington have just recorded their fourth league win in a row with a superb injury time winner from Cedric, seeing off Spennymoor and propelling Darlo into the playoff spots. There's still a long way to go, of course, but all of a sudden, the gloom from a month ago has well and truly lifted. Joining me to digest it all, it's a pleasure to welcome back, firstly, from Darlo Fans Radio, Michael Price. How are you, Michael?
Not too bad, thanks, after yesterday. Great win, and yeah, good to be back on.
Excellent. And joining Michael from the Northern Echo, it's Craig Stoddart. How are you, Stod?
Hello, yes, very well, thank you. After yesterday, quite enjoyed that.
Well, yep, there is only one place to start, of course. Darlington taking all 3 points in dramatic fashion, thanks to Cedric Main.
McLaughlin thinks what's forward for Cedric Main. Main touched him on the back of the head. But Cedric Main is hit him on the back. The flag stayed down. He's put it in the top corner. Darlington in injury time. Have their goal.
Well, you and Stuart sounded like you enjoyed that in the commentary box, Michael. A real close contest. That could have gone either way, but fortunately it was Darlo who come out on top.
Yeah, I think we called it fairly early on that it was going to be a really closely fought game that would be decided by 1 moment, 2 moments tops. And in the end, what a moment of magic it was that got Darlo the 3 points. It's another late goal from us. You know, we've kind of gotten into the habit of scoring these recently. You look at Cornish against Kidderminster, and I mean, it was the 5th against Peterborough Sports. It didn't matter much in the grand scheme of things, but what a finish from Cedric Main. I mean, we had a commentator cam on on me and Stu for the match yesterday, and it's not the first time we've had one this season, but all I'll say is the first time we had it, we didn't want to use any of the footage because it wasn't a great game. Yesterday, on the other hand, just unbelievable. What a goal.
Yeah, I mean, coming to you, Craig, Cedric's had to be a little bit patient in recent games, just coming back from injury, and with the form of Aidan Rutledge and Jack Maskell, he's had to sort of take a bit of a back seat. But now, good selection headache for Steve Watson.
Yeah, it's Steve Watson's been careful with him, bringing him back slowly, and I think it does look as though Jack Maskell needs a rest because he's been carrying an injury. I think it's a shin problem, I think. Steve Watson will be tempted to start Cedric on Tuesday against Curzon, but we've got a gap shortly. Not a gap, but we've got a few midweek breaks shortly, and then there's even a Saturday when there's no match at all. We've got a Saturday in December. So because the games are thinning out, that will help. You'd think it would help Maskell recover. But it's, as you say, it's a nice situation for Steve Watson to be in. I certainly don't think he'll be going back to 3 up front. The main Maskell and Rutledge combination, which he had at the start of the season, didn't quite work. He's now got the 2 up front. And, the results speak for themselves, really.
You make the point about the formation there, Craig. Come to you, Michael. We have gone to 3 at the back, the 3-5-2, and the 2 young boys from Middlesbrough on the wings, and it seems like it's paid off, doesn't it?
It does seem to be working at the moment. I know there's been 1 or 2 things said about kind of the defensive qualities of the 2 young lads, but they're learning their trade. They're getting better with every game. And they played their part yesterday. Dangerous going forward. I'm really impressed by Charlie Lennon. Glad we've got him till January. Howell's officially at the moment still only on loan until the end of the month, but we'll probably look to extend his as well. And then the 3 at the back. It was Barrow, Lees, Headley until the red card, and then there was a bit of a reshuffle. And what I would say is that losing Scott Barrow to that red card, it didn't. Obviously, both teams go down to 10 because Salkel gets sent off as well. It didn't seem to bother us too much. We've, the squad's getting back towards full strength, and we seem to cope quite well with it. And at the moment, the results would seem to suggest that the system works.
Yeah, Craig, the only blemish, I guess, on the result is, as Michael mentions there, that red card for Scott Barrow, his 2nd of the season. I mean, they're always, I don't want to call it a derby match because some people don't like that, do they?
No.
Call it a derby, but these local games, they can be quite feisty, and that seems to be the case yesterday.
Yeah, well, you say it is a blemish, but I would say it's not really a blemish on Scott Barrow. It's a blemish on the referee, who had a dreadful game. The best thing about winning, or one of the good things about winning yesterday, is that you're able to criticise the referee and not be accused of sour grapes. This referee was appalling. Those yellow cards, he gave 3 yellow cards inside the first 20 minutes. He must have started this game and thought, right, I'm going to put a marker down here. I'm in charge. I'm going to show people's in charge by throwing these yellow cards around. Well, he made a run for his own back, because then in the second half, when Scott Barrow and Cameron Salkeld got involved in a bit of, a bit of an altercation, the referee had no option left other than to give the yellow, because the letter of the law, they had to do that. So he ended up giving 2 red cards for no good reason, really. It wasn't a sensible thing to do. Go back to early in the first half, he booked Scott Barrow for a shirt pull, ludicrous. And then he booked Salkeld at the same moment. We assumed for saying something out of turn, because the free kick had been given to Spennymoor. He then booked Salkeld. So Salkeld must have said something out of turn. Just get on with it, man. Just play on. Jesus whip. So that was the referee's fault. Right now, as we speak, these red card incidents aren't in Darlington's highlights, which is an oversight, because a lot of people at the match want to see these moments, but a lot of people at the match want to see it because a lot of people didn't really know what had happened. It was a skirmish in the corner of the pitch, and a lot of bodies around couldn't quite tell what was going on. So we all look forward to the highlights so we can see for ourselves what's happened. Yeah, but Darlington haven't included them in the highlights. So hopefully at some point that footage will come online and we can make a judgment. I have seen it, and it's what's his face? Salkeld grabs Howells by the neck, and then Barrow comes over and adopts an aggressive attitude or aggressive manner, I think is the terminology that's used to get the yellow. So yeah, I'm not blaming Barrow or Salkeld. I'm blaming the referee. Shocker.
Yeah, we can talk about the standard of refereeing for a long time, can't we, Michael? I mean, it does seem to be an issue at this level.
It does, but I mean, I think we looked up the referee yesterday, and Stu had noticed that he'd refereed matches in like League One and League Two as well, assuming it was the right one. How many referees are there that share the same name? But I suppose it's a bit like players at this level. They're either working their way up the pyramid or they're working their way back down the pyramid, and they're at the level they're at for a reason. All the good ones will get, moved up to make incorrect VAR calls in the Premier League or something within a few seasons. But, I mean, up to a point, I thought he was doing okay, but then he did seem to lose control of the game a little bit. As Craig said, the early yellow cards seemed a bit out of kilter with the way he refereed the rest of the game. I felt he had chances to show more yellows. I think it was Dan Jones, Spennymoor left back, could have had a second yellow, possibly a couple of points in the second half that weren't given. Excuse me, and I just wondered if the referee maybe was starting to second guess himself at that point. But
what about
I don't really want to focus on the referee too much because it feels like it takes away from what was a great game of football between two really competitive sides. Call it a derby, don't call it a derby. It's the shortest trip of the season for either side, and that always adds something to it.
What about Tyler Hill going down for no good reason? Which he tried to con the referee into giving the card against Charlie Lennon. Charlie Lennon challenged him around waist height kind of thing. Tyler Hill, Spennymoor, is he left back? Spennymoor left back.
Gone down clutching his
face. I mean, who are you trying to kid? He was right.
I mean, I wondered it on commentary whether that was like the incident that led to the rest of what came next, because I feel like that ramped up the tension in the atmosphere. Got people a bit wound up because obviously everyone except the referee knows what he's done. Talking about the referee. Everyone knows what he's done there. Like he's conned the ref and tried to get a decision and maybe a card out. And that just ramps up the tension, the atmosphere, gets everybody a bit wound up, and maybe leads to what comes a few minutes later when there's just like we're watching it from the stand. There's just tackles flying in everywhere. Howells goes in and tries to chop one of their players in half, and it all just kicks off from there. But does that happen if Tyler Hill hasn't gone down clutching his face from being caught in the waist a few minutes earlier?
And Tyler Hill knew what he'd done because a few moments later he said something to the crowd with a grin on his face. I don't know what he said. I couldn't hear, but he was looking towards where we sat in the stand, and he said something and he was grinning. So he knew full well he'd done something he shouldn't have done. Unfortunately, ultimately, he's ended up looking like an idiot because his team have lost, and there's been a couple of red cards flying around. He looks like a moron, basically.
Karma got them in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see it on camera again, and we can all have a good laugh at Tyler Hill. I keep saying his name because it shouldn't be forgotten. Tyler Hill, you an idiot.
There you go, Tyler Hill. You've been called out there by Craig. Let's get back onto that Cedric winner, because it was a fantastic piece of individual brilliance, Michael Wood. And you were speaking with Cedric post match, I think, along with Ben Headley. Just to have like the kind of confidence, particularly with having not played a lot recently, just to take it in the manner he did, it was extraordinary.
Yeah, we've talked about the patience he's had to show us. Obviously, he's worked his way back from injury, and we did ask him post-match, do you think that that's a marker to Stephen Terry to say, I want to be starting the next game? And maybe the injury that Maskell's been nursing will kind of force that decision either way. And he said, well, it's up to the gaffer, which, fair enough, it is. But, I mean, you can't argue with the quality of it. His first touch is fantastic. It just kind of hits him between the shoulder blades, I think, and then it's on. And then his next touch. I mean, I didn't appreciate it in real time. I mean, it looked like an amazing hit. You could see that the way it's bent into the top corner. You can see that from where we're stood. But to see it from the camera angle on the balcony, and to see it from the pitch side camera that we had set up yesterday, the way he just wraps his foot around it. You watch the foot that he bends that with. It is ridiculous, the technique he puts on it. It is. Yeah, just an unbelievable, like a goal worthy of winning any game, but a game like that yesterday, to be settled by a moment like that, it just felt right.
In the seated stand, our angle wasn't the best we didn't appreciate the bend on it, the shot. I just thought it was a lofty finish in the top corner. But as you say, the camera angle from the balcony, you can see the bend he puts on that. It was a brilliant technique. He just showed his quality, and I think his celebration afterwards was interesting. Clearly, that was a reference to some of the, I'll say people, I'll be kind, some of the people who've had too much to say about Cedric Main, people who shout and boo him at matches. I've heard it. Tuesday, the Peterborough Sports game, I was behind someone who had too much to say for himself, shouting at Cedric Main. And also after the match yesterday, it's become standard procedure after a win. One player goes towards the tin shed and does the fist bumps, the Jurgen Klopp thing. And normally it would be Cedric Main yesterday, and he refused to do it and you can read into that whatever you like, but he's well within his rights to be annoyed with the reaction of some Darlington fans. I think a minority, but people right now will be feeling quite stupid after on the back of what happened yesterday. So in the end, it was Tom Platt, the captain, who did the fist bumps instead.
It's a funny one, isn't it? With Cedric, he does seem to cop a fair bit of flack, more than he should do. I don't know if we just seem to like having a whipping boy, don't we? I seem to remember Jarrett Rivers sort of copped quite a bit a couple of years ago as well. But great. I mean, a great way to answer your critics.
Yeah. I can't put my finger on it. You'd have to ask these people who are guilty of having to go at Cedric Main. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what it is. But hopefully it's drawn a line under it now after that goal yesterday. Hopefully people have been reminded of his quality.
I mean, I would defy anyone to have a bad word to say about him after that. I don't blame him for, the celebration. I can't imagine why anyone would have a bad word to say about him before yesterday. But after that, he's got to silence them.
Just the last thing on Cedric Main as well. As Salkeld was there yesterday, obviously, playing for Spain, it reminds me that at the end of the season 2 years ago, when we almost got relegated, Cedric Main joined in January. Now, for me, he should have been player of the season that year, because his goals and his assists did more to keep Darlington up than anybody else. But Cameron Salkeld got player of the year, which I found surprising. And I think people voted for that because he'd been there the entire season. But had the Player of the Year voting been done on December 31st, the award would have been cancelled. It would have been null and void because nobody would deserve anything for that first 6 months, 5-6 months under Gowling and Armstrong. Nobody deserved anything. So everything was null and void for the first 4 or 5 months. Then Main came in January, and therefore what he did there onwards deserved the Player of the Year award. And that has bothered me for the last 2 years. I've got off my chest now. You can carry on with the podcast.
That's it, mate. It's cathartic, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, Craig, the last time I saw you was on the balcony at Blackwell Meadows after Telford had done a 6-0. If you'd have said, what are we, 5-6 weeks on from that game?
Probably, 9 games we've had since then.
Yeah. So, in the league, I think, if I've done my maths right here, won 6, lost 2 in the 8 league games that have followed that game. I mean, it's an extraordinary turnaround.
Yeah, it's remarkable, really. I mean, having said that 6-0, that wasn't typical of Downton. That wasn't like we weren't getting beat heavily every week or anything like that.
Yeah.
That was just a bit of a one-off, we like to think. And right now, that's how it appears. Because the results beforehand, the performances, the filed FA Cup replay, the standard of performance are there, and the standard of performance since generally is way above that Telford game. It was just a remarkable afternoon when it was 6-0 and it should have been 10 or 11. We were so bad that day. So bad, it was horrific. But credit to Steve Watson and the players, and clearly the formation change has been a factor for turning it around.
Yeah, Michael, obviously we have brought in a lot of new loan signings. Paddy McLaughlin's joined us, Max Howells, Charlie Lennon as well. And how important is it to try and keep these 3 players until the end of the season, Michael?
It is vitally important. I mean, I sort of said after the Telford game that feels like the season hitting rock bottom and we can't have any more days like that. And in the context of it, as Craig says, it feels like an outlier now because our performances, our results around that match have been, much improved, much better. The FC United FA Trophy game, it's unfortunate that we're out of both cups. I think that's the one complaint that we could have about the season is that we haven't gone far enough in either. And we were unlucky to be knocked out by a last-minute own goal there. But talking about the loan players we've brought in, McLaughlin's been brilliant since he came in. Howells and Lennon have been really impressive down the wings and contributed assists. I mean, Lennon's crossing's amazing, and Howells has contributed some goals as well. And it is really important that we keep them. I think that's the one concern for me is that, you're allowed to have 5 players, 5 loanees in the matchday squad, and we're making full use of that. But my concern is, nothing against the players that are, our own players. I think they're all brilliant, but they are they improvement on what they've got? What happens to our squad, our formation, our system when they go back? So, can we keep them for as long as possible? I'd certainly hope so. I don't see McLaughlin being in York's plans. He hadn't played for them for a while before he came to us, so ideally we extend that one, and maybe we're already in talks because he's got a week left as we record this. Same for Howells. If we can keep them both, brilliant.
Just keeping on the loan players, perhaps a word or two on Darlo Ombang, who, of course, stepped in while Pete Jameson was out injured. Did incredibly well, didn't he? I understand, obviously, he's had to go back because of that rule, the 5 lone players in the squad. But looks like a keeper who's got a bright future ahead of him.
Certainly does. Came in, I think it was his debut against Southport, wasn't it? The game we won 2-0, which I think you would look at as the start of this kind of upswing in form. First home win of the season, long overdue, but then obviously we've gone on and won every other one since, so was worth the wait. And he, just came in and looked really assured. I don't think he'd even trained with the squad before that one, but he just looked like a really assured presence, pulled off some really good saves. I suppose going back again to the FC United winner, the only kind of mark against him in the games he played, I don't think there was a lot he could have done about the goals that he did concede, but his distribution was good, handling excellent. The only thing that he maybe did get wrong was that moment against FC United when he maybe could have picked the ball up and instead he unfortunately kicks it against Toby Lees. And I think he's just trying to get the ball upfield to get a last-second counter-attack on the move and just doesn't quite get it right. But gone back to Leeds now that Jameson is fit and able to play again. We've only got Jameson guaranteed until January, if I remember rightly, the terms of the loan. So if Gateshead were to recall him, I would have no complaints if we got Leeds back on the phone and asked if we could borrow Ombang for the rest of the season.
Yeah, would you second
really
that, Craig?
well, and I can see him going far.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jameson was recalled in January. We'll see what happens there. Yeah, Ombang did well. It just apart from the very last minute of his very last game, just that it was an error. Yeah, he should have gone to the ground. Should have gone to the ground at the player's feet, and then we'd have had a penalty shootout, and who knows, we might still have been the trophy. But it's not the end of the world. It's just disappointing because, as you say, like Mike said, having a bit of a cup run adds a bit of interest, a bit of excitement. You might get, and obviously with our history in the trophy, we've got a bit of an attachment to it, and it would have been nice to just have another go. I mean, what was it, 5 years ago? We got to the quarterfinals, which kind of people forget, and we blew it. Hornchurch at home. Hornchurch were a division or two below.
Yeah.
So no, at some point we'll have another run, and this could have been the year. But try again next year.
As I said, Craig, the turnaround has been pretty amazing. I think it was after the Merthyr game when I did an online poll asking if people still had faith in the management team, and it was 60 yes, 40 no, pretty much. So I mean, there has been a lot of murmuring amongst the fan base throughout the season. Obviously, less so now. Do you think we're just guilty of a bit sort of overreacting, a bit of knee-jerking at times?
Well, I think football fans in general probably are guilty of that, and they have short-term memories. And in Steve Watson's case, I think people were forming their opinion based on what's happened this season in the last 3 or 4 months, and forgetting the full body of his work, going back 18 months, 2 years. Look at what he's achieved in that time. And he is the ideal manager right now for us. He's doing a good job. The credit... People discussing whether he should be gone is just not even ludicrous. Clearly, he's the right manager for Darlington. That's the end of the matter. There's no more discussion than that. People just knee-jerk reactions after defeat and get carried away sometimes. No, did your person say season over? I think after FC United the defeat last week.
Yeah. I've seen it said. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit silly.
Michael, anything to add on to that?
No, I think it's a fair. I mean, there's probably, Craig being one himself, there's probably a few Liverpool fans who want Slot out at the moment, despite the fact he walked to a title with his, almost with his eyes closed, like last season. But obviously they've gone on a bit of a bad run at the moment, and all clubs do this. It is unfortunate that 2 of our bad days this season have coincided, have been cup ties. The FC United game could have gone to penalties, and then that's always, as the cliche goes, a lottery. Telford was an absolute aberration, but looks like an outlier in the grand scheme now. But you look at what's happened since. We've put together a little run, and all of a sudden we're in the playoffs. It's not, it's a very tight league this season, and it just goes to show what a bit of form can do, and bringing the right players on loan. And Steve and Terry do have a great eye for a loan signing, more hits than misses. And there we are at the right end of the table now, where everybody hoped and expected we would be. The question is now, can we stay there?
Certainly is. Well, let's just pause it there for a second, guys. I caught up with Will Hatfield a couple of days ago, just 48 hours after his ACL surgery, to have a chat about that injury and a bit of chat about his career, also outside of football as well. So we're going to hear from Will now, and myself, Michael and Craig. We'll be right back after this. Well, I'm delighted to welcome onto the pod Will Hatfield. During his 2 spells with the club, Will has firmly become a fan's favourite. He was closing in on 200 appearances for the Quakers before sadly having his season curtailed by an ACL injury. Will's joining us just 48 hours after having surgery. So first of all, Will, welcome to Darlo Till I Die. And I guess the only place to start is, how are you feeling just a couple of days after going under the surgeon's knife?
Yeah, firstly, well, thank you for having me, Adam. It's a pleasure. As I said, it's going through a bit of a tough time at the minute, so it's nice to obviously put my mind to having a conversation with yourself and joining the podcast. But it's, as I said, it's had the operation on Monday, so certainly been a tough 2 days for sure. Not much sleep, lots of tablets, not much movement in the knee, a lot of pain, but that's as expected. So probably another 3-4 days like this, and then hopefully that swelling, that pain will get easier, and I can start to pick up my rehab and start doing a bit of exercise on it.
I guess the road to recovery starts then. Have you, a few people have asked this, Will, have you got a sort of tentative date in mind for when you might be back on the pitch again?
Yeah, no, I'm not putting a massive time frame on it, but then again, a lot of people have told me the 10 months is needed to recover. So that will probably take me to probably like August time, start of next season. So certainly if I can join in pre-season in terms of being involved with the lads, running, not necessarily playing every pre-season game, but certainly being involved with them, being involved with the training. And then, as the season gets underway, then hopefully I can start, seeing my name on the team sheet and slowly, gradually get myself back into the team.
Yeah, I mean, I saw an interview you did with Stuart a few weeks ago, and I think you said you've actually been fairly lucky with injuries throughout most of your career. I think you said, was it 6 weeks was the longest you've had out? Like, was it one of them when it did happen? Did you know you were in trouble straight away? Could you tell it was a serious one?
Yeah, I knew it was a serious one, but not to the extent of obviously a full rupture of my ACL. I think the fact I say that is, obviously people talk about ACL being probably one of the worst injuries in football, and it can be obviously extremely painful. But at the time when I did it, the pain wasn't that bad at all, really. Obviously, I heard something, I felt something in terms of the snap of the ligament. But as I said, I assumed it wasn't that due to the fact that I got up and I was telling the gaffer that I'm ready to go back on. So in terms of that, I didn't think it was going to be as bad as this. But after a few days, when I saw the swelling and the way my knee was not really moving, I was considering the worst. And obviously the worst outcome has happened. But it's the worst injury of my career. I'm obviously 34 now. I had a long career, played many games, and the only real injury that I had, what kept me out for probably around 6 to maybe 8 weeks, was when I was back at Guiseley about 7-8 years ago now. So very, very long time. It's going to be something. It's going to be a challenge for me for sure to come back and be how I want to be. But people have told me it's very doable with the hard work and dedication, and I don't see why there's no difference. I'm going to come back. I'm going to work hard and do everything it takes to come back and carry on playing.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, we'll maybe just have a bit of a chat about your career, because you started out at Leeds United. You're a Leeds fan, Will? Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, big Leeds fan. Leeds through and through. Obviously, I had a season ticket with my dad from a very young age. So Leeds has always been my number one team. And yes, I was lucky enough when I was 9 years old to sign for them in the academy. And had many successful years there up until I was around 21, 22 when I left.
Yeah, and going through the system there at Leeds, I believe was an England cricketer or a future England cricketer was amongst your teammates. Can you tell us about that? I played cricket as well alongside the football through obviously the academy ages, probably from around 10 to 16. I was playing for Yorkshire County Cricket Club as well as Leeds United, basically had the chance to represent Northern England as well for the cricket. Came across obviously a lot of good players at similar age to me, Johnny Bairstow, Joe Root. Johnny Bairstow was also playing for Leeds at the time as well, many years ago. There's a connection there with the cricket. I did have the opportunity to sign a scholarship with Yorkshire, but at the time when Leeds were offering me a 4-year professional contract, at the time it was a no-brainer. Yeah, that's the road I led down the football way. I think by the time this podcast goes out, Will, I think the Ashes would have got underway here in Australia. I'll get a quick Ashes prediction off you then.
Yeah, no.
What are you going to say?
Yeah, I'm confident. Obviously, I always going to back England, and it's going to be a tough series. Ashes is always tough, but I'm quietly confident. It's a shame it's not in the UK because I've got a bit of time off work as well now. So it'd have been lovely to be sat in front of the telly watching the Ashes all day. But I'll be certainly watching the highlights during the day for sure while I'm doing my rehab. So that's certainly going to keep me busy for the next couple of weeks, and I'm very much looking forward to watching it. It's going to be a good series.
Definitely. I got the Aussies here telling me 5-0, but they say that every time, don't they? But
they do. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but like I said, I'm quietly confident it's going to be a good series.
Fingers crossed. With going back to your time at Leeds, there, you don't make a first team appearance, Will, but you are on the bench for an FA Cup clash against Tottenham. I looked at the lineup that day for Spurs, and they had like Crouch, Defoe, Bale. I think Modric were on the bench as well. I'm sure you'd have loved to have got on, but that must have been a great experience. A full house at Ellen Road. How was that?
Yeah, it was amazing. Probably say it was one of the highlights when I was at Leeds. Obviously, I had a lot of very good memories throughout the years there. But the main regret is that I never actually made my debut. As I said, it was still a privilege to be on the bench for the first team in the FA Cup against Tottenham. Being so close to action to these kind of players, as I said, I was warming up next to Modric. There was Bale playing on the wings. There was Defoe. Everybody. It was a real good experience. Obviously, a shame I didn't get on, but it is what it is. There's obviously no regrets on that. Fond memories at Leeds United, and I loved every second of it. So, good experience for sure, and one I'll never forget.
Yeah, Roof has asked on Twitter, who were your sort of idols when you were growing up, and which modern day players do you admire now?
So there was one standout one for me, especially when I was younger coming through, was Frank Lampard. He was at Chelsea, obviously, at the time, and similar position to me. Scored goals from midfield. What I obviously always see myself as a scoring midfielder throughout my career. So Lampard was right up there for me. In terms of current now, I do like watching Declan Rice for Arsenal. I just think the way his presence on the pitch, the way he defends, the way he attacks, the way he gets in the box, his deliveries, his shots, free kicks as well recently when he scored them against, I think it was Real Madrid at the time. So Declan Rice is one in terms of currently now that I really enjoy watching.
Fantastic. And following your release then from Leeds, you moved down to League Two, and it's Accrington Stanley. And you have like 3 years there. And having a look, it looked like you went through a few managers there, Will. I think including James Beattie, who people might remember from his Premier League days. He was a player manager at Accrington at the time. Then how was it playing alongside him?
Yeah, brilliant. It really, really good. Probably one of the best times when he was manager. He put a lot of trust in me. He gave me the number 10 shirt, and played a lot of games under him in the football league. So he was a really good guy, good man management. He was always up for a laugh as well. He ended the season, we managed to survive on the last day of the season, and he paid us for all the team to go to Magaluf for a few days, and he joined us and joined in with the drinking and the laughs, and it was absolutely brilliant. Didn't spend a penny all weekend. It was all on him. So straight away you can see the kind of personality he was. But he was a really good manager. He's now with my other old manager as well at Reading now. So Liam Richardson, he was my manager as well. Yeah. So Liam Richardson, he's gone now in as his assistant at Reading as James Beattie. So I wish them both luck when they joined a few weeks ago. And still in contact with them. But really good times at Accrington. As I said, it was a scenario when they took a chance on me. I went on loan there first, did well, and then signed for them permanently once I left Leeds, and made over 100 appearances in the Football League. I look back now and think actually that's a really good achievement. And there'll be a lot of people, a lot of like young boys, let's say, coming through now who would snap their hand off to have 100 appearances in the Football League. So really, really enjoyed my time at Accrington, and again, really appreciate what they did for me.
And then I guess one of the highlights would have been 4 goals in an FA Cup match, ironically against Fylde, who you'd go on to represent. That must have been a highlight for you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, great game. Obviously, when I remember, FA Cup. I can't remember exactly what round it was at the time, but to score 4 goals in one game was pretty crazy. It's funny how the full circle ended up, obviously, as you said, signing for Fylde. Crazy how things happen, but really, really remember that game for a long time.
Then after, I think it's a short stint with Halifax, and then it's on to Guiseley. Now, I'll be honest, I'd forgotten Guiseley were a National League club for a few seasons, and I guess we're probably punching above their weight, shall we say, around that time. Yeah. Thomas Feeney, who's a non-league writer, who's been on this podcast, Thomas, he's a Guiseley fan. He said to ask you about that goal against Cambridge and staying up on the final day of the season. So what are your reflections there at Guiseley?
Yeah, Guiseley was brilliant again. As I said, it was. I had a couple of friends outside of football who were involved with Guiseley at the time, and obviously they got promoted into the National League, and I was debating, do I stay at Halifax, do I make the move to Guiseley, and they obviously showed a lot of interest in me, and obviously they had been promoted, so. I was going into the unknown, really. I never really heard too much about Guiseley at the time, but when I went, it was a really good club, nice family, like that feel about them. So yeah, really good. And obviously, the Cambridge game actually came up on my memories on my Facebook the other day. Actually, that game, and again, scored a really good goal. So probably one of my better goals of my career as well. The volley. It was on BT Sport as well at the time.
Yeah.
So really, really good. And we had a lot of good times in terms of tough seasons trying to stay up, but obviously it was a challenge for us. We were competing above our weight, let's say. But especially when we stayed up last game of the season, it was again a memory that I'll never forget. We had a great night that evening, and I still to this day speak to a lot of the lads really closely, especially Jake Lawler. Obviously, he had a spell at Darlington as well. Probably classing as one of my best friends now. So it was a really good time and a really good club there.
Yeah, and then of course it is on to Darlington after that. I think Alan was in charge at the time then. So how did that move come about then, Will, to Darlo?
Yeah, so there was obviously a few changes at Guiseley were happening. My contract came to an end, and I was just exploring, really, seeing what it was about. And Alan and Darlington showed a high interest. And as soon as I heard the word Darlington and the size of the club and what they're all about, the stature, I thought it's definitely a club I want to go in. It's a step up for me in terms of the club and the size of the club. And it's the best thing I've ever done. As I said, I've had the best times of my career in terms of on the pitch, off the pitch. It's everything's gone through Darlington. I've had two young boys. I was at Darlington at the time then as well. So just everything really, really enjoyed it. So really again fortunate that Alan took not the gamble on me, but reach out to me and say we want to sign you. So really good.
Brilliant. John was asking about who's the best player you've played with at your time at Darlo. And must be a few there to pick from. Who stands out? Yeah,
there's a lot. I think when I first joined, obviously the club legend Tomo, he was up there. Stephen Thompson, he was up there. You could see his quality and his presence within the club and on the pitch as well. He was absolutely fantastic for me to settle in and really looked up to him as a player coming into Darlington. He was really good. There's been many players. Luke Charman, when he had that amazing season and he got his move, he was a pleasure to play with. You put me on the spot here. But many ones. But as I said, Stephen Thompson, Luke Charman are standouts for me at the moment.
Yeah, I think with Tomo, he probably should have played a bit higher. I'm not quite sure. Sometimes you get the break, don't you? But what a servant to the club.
But, he was brilliant. Yeah. Really good. And like I said, he pushed me to be how I wanted to be. Like he's come away from the club as a club legend, and when I saw that, my aim was to when I eventually leave or retire from Darlington, I want to be seen in like his caliber, let's say. So even if it's half of that, I feel like I've done well. So really good.
Yeah, Dante's asking about best moments in a Darlo shirt.
Yeah, there's been many. It's got a lot of important goals, a lot of good goals. The one what really stands out for me, just the fact of the noise, the celebration, the relief, was the equaliser at Walsall in the FA Cup. Yeah. That won't be topped. I always remember that game. We were walking out just for the warm up, and all the fans were already there for the warm up. They were singing, they were clapping. It was from going out for the warm up. I'll always remember that, and then to score how we did was it was amazing scenes. And then the other one would have been, I know it wasn't the result that we wanted, but my return back to Darlington when we played Scunthorpe away. Straight away, the fans singing my name. As soon as I was walking onto the pitch for the warm-up again, singing Will Hatfield, it was like, I'm glad I'm back. So, they're probably the two standout ones. But as I said, I've had many good moments in terms of scoring important goals, scoring good goals, and, there's a lot of success that I've had.
Got it. Yeah, we just I put out the Walsall Wheatley's equaliser against Walsall the other day. Got to ask you about... With the assist, and sadly Asagi's no longer with us, is it? Did he mean that daisy cutter? Because if he did, that's one of the best assists I've ever seen. Did he shank it? Or
the ball? The ball? Yeah. I'm going to say he's meant it. Yeah. I think. If we're going to be judgmental, I probably think the defender, the Walsall defender, probably should have cut it out at the time. But because as soon as it went past that front man, I thought this has got a chance here. And obviously, Joe Wheatley, wasn't it at the time? stugged it home. So incredible scenes, incredible journey home on the bus as well, and really, really good times. That's what you play for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess during your time with Downton, you've had to sort of step in as an interim manager on a couple of occasions as well. Is that something that you're interested in further down the track, Will, when you hang up the boots in the end?
Yeah, I'll never say never to obviously management for sure, but I think as probably quite a few of you know, I do. I've got my own business now, recruitment business in Leeds. It's very important to me. Takes a lot of time for me as well. So that's where my attention is when I'm not at football. But for sure, as I said, if the opportunity did come to potentially manage Darlington, then as I said, I'd never ever turn them down. So we'll see. I'm hoping once I get back from injury, there's going to be many more years left in me. So not just thinking that far ahead just yet in terms of management, but as I said, if the opportunity did ever come down further down the line, then certainly would never say no to it.
Well, that actually, just you mentioned there about what you do outside of football, it does lead me nicely on to the next question. So you're involved in, is it Axel Search? Have I got that right? Is that?
Yeah, you said it right. Some people, Axel Search is the company. So I've been in recruitment for around 7 years now. I was with with one company for around 6 years. Had a lot of success there, and basically, they set me up. So it wasn't off my own back. They said, look, Will, we want to set your own business up for you. Financially, they supported me to do that. So the business I work for now, it's like a subsidiary of my old business, JB Andrews. And this is our first year in business. There's been a lot of challenges, let's say. Obviously, a lot more responsibility, and I'm building my own team up now. We've got a team of 6 of us. We've got a couple of new starters starting next year as well. So it's been really good. Obviously challenging and going alongside my football, but I'm used to balancing football and work, and I think it's worked well for me. So it's all good.
Question from David Steele, who's asked, how come you ended up specialising in logistics during your recruitment career? David asking the important questions here. So.
It's basically the company JB Andrews, who I first joined. They've obviously been going over 10 years now as that organisation, but the core focus for JB Andrews was logistics and supply chain. So they do different markets, different industries, but it was one of the most built up industries within JB Andrews. So obviously myself coming from a football background, and it was probably the easiest, let's say, transition for me to go into. And I've done it ever since now. So as I said, 7 or 8 years now doing logistics. So I'll never change now.
How is sort of the balance? Because obviously, yourself or all the other lads are working full time out of football and playing at a very high level, really. I mean, sort of maintaining your fitness when you're only training once or twice a week. That must be a bit of a challenge.
It is a challenge, but as I said, I've been doing it many, many years now, so I know what my body needs. I know what I need to do to prepare myself week in, week out to be as fit as I can. Of course, we train intensely when on a Tuesday night, Thursday night, but I'm always at the gym, if that's in the mornings, afternoons, after work. Yes, we train, but I'm obviously in the gym as well. I'm obviously balancing my work and everything like that. So it is challenging at times. It does get on top of you. Obviously, I've got 2 young boys as well, and it's they take up a lot of my time and energy as well, but I'd never change that for the world. So as I said, it's just balancing everything, and I'm used to it. I've been doing it many, many years now, and I love every second of it. So I wouldn't change it for the world.
Looking at this season then, Will, we're talking after Darlo had beaten Peterborough Sports 5-2. A little bit worried it was going to get called off at one stage with the floodlights there again. Thankfully, I think someone found 50 pence, stuck it in the meter. How do you, because it has been, it seems now that we're sort of finding a little bit of form. When you look at the league table, I know you've got Shields and Fylde, and there's, a bit of a gap, and then, sort of everyone else. It does seem really this season like it's up for grabs.
No, definitely, yeah. It's wide open as a league. It's crazy. As you said, we got a really good win, really important win last night. I was luckily enough, I was able to watch it. I got the live stream sent through. What I was really thankful for Darlington to send me, so that was good to watch last night. As I said, we've had a very, let's say, up and down season so far, but we've had an up and down season and we still find ourselves ninth in the league and 2 points off the playoffs. So it just shows you what's capable and what we can achieve this season. I feel like looking at the team at the minute, we've got a real good balance. I feel we've got obviously good pace with the two young lads on loan from Middlesbrough. We've got obviously the experience now with Platty and Paddy coming in from York, who is obviously, I've played against him many years now, and he's probably one of the best midfielders that I've come across throughout my career. So to have him playing now is really, really good. We've got a really strong, solid foundation at the back as well, with obviously Scotty, Leesy. So, as I said, I just feel like at the start of the season we're a bit unbalanced. We never really got to grips with how we really wanted to play. I think we had a style of play we wanted to play, and it probably wasn't suiting us to how we wanted it to be. But I think the real turning point was, I don't like to bring it up, but the defeat against Telford in the FA Cup. I feel, obviously that's when I did my knee as well. So
Yeah.
But I feel like that was a big turning point in terms of, hold on a minute, like something needs to change here. This isn't right. This can't continue like this. And as I said, I feel like we're starting to see that balance now, and I've got a lot of confidence in the lads, in the gaffer Terry, that we can really achieve something this season. So yeah, let's see what we can do. Obviously, for me personally, I'll be right behind the team. Of course, obviously, I wish I was playing. I'll be very honest. At first, it was like, oh, I'll be fine. But when I'm watching the lads now, I'm really starting to miss it, and wish I was there with the boys helping them. But as I said, I think they'll be fine. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we can do. And I think minimum this season is playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's give it a really good go for sure.
Yeah, and Aidan Rutledge, I think he had a bit of a slow start, like a lot of the squad did. But you must be happy to see him back amongst the goals.
Yeah, brilliant. Very talented footballer. Obviously, we know what he's capable of. Every club he's been to, he scores goals. When he had his first spell here, he scored important goals for us as well. So, yeah, it was a really, well, like I said, he'll be honest, probably a slow start for him. Probably didn't hit the ground running this season in terms of where his standards have been. But yeah, he's had a run of games now, and he's getting his fitness back. He's getting his confidence up, and he's scoring really good, important goals and scoring goals on a regular basis. So, yeah, I've actually dropped him a message this morning as well, just congratulating on his goals and his man of the match performance. So, yeah, really pleased for him, and I'm sure he's going to really kick on and be a massive part of the team for us.
Just looking maybe ahead with the future of the club, Aaron emailed in and wants to get your opinion on the fans-owned model. Does it work for the club, or do you think it's holding the club back? What are your thoughts at playing for a fans-owned club?
I personally love it, and I think the first time when I came to the club, I really felt that fan connection between the players, the fans, and everything. And I think that's a really important thing to have for sure. I think it's stability as well. We've got a real good, strong fan base who are very, very generous in terms of their donations to the clubs and what they do for the club. So in that aspect, I think we're in very, very safe hands. For sure, let's be real about it. Obviously, if we want to really kick on and take Darlington, let's say, to the football leagues and beyond, obviously investment is probably extra, not saying not fan-owned, but extra, let's say, revenue funds would be well received for sure to probably take us to the next level. But in terms of where we're at today as a club, there's no reason, with the fan support as we've got it, there's no reason why we shouldn't be pushing for National League, top half of National League. And then again, as I said, if we really want to kick in, for sure, financial revenue is obviously very important. Yeah, I love it personally as a player. It really, really fires me up. It motivates me to make sure that we're successful and everyone's in it together.
Yeah,
I hope
brilliant.
that helps.
Yeah, no, great answer. I think what we might do, just finish off with a few quick-fire questions, Will. Chance for you to throw a few of the boys under the bus. I'm going to ask you, who from the current Darlington squad, and I've got a list of questions here, so just say the first name that comes to mind. So I'll kick us off here. So which of the current Darlo squad, who's got the best banter?
Matty Cornish, 100%.
Right. Okay. What about the worst banter?
Jack Masker.
Right. What about best in training, best trainer?
Will McGowan.
Okay. Worst dress?
Worst dress. Let me have a think.
Is there a few contenders here, is there, yeah?
Yeah, just trying to think now, putting me on the spot. Jack Maskell again. Gotta be.
Maskell again.
Yeah, Maskell again. Some of his gear, not good.
proper rascal gear, right?
Yes, yeah.
What about worst taste in music?
Jack Maskell again.
Really? Right.
100%. Yeah, he's into all like them. Oh, I don't know. I don't even know the word to it, but yeah, not good. I mean, well, I was in charge of music. So,
I was going to ask who's in charge, before the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the music man, so I was always in charge. Maskell always tried to get on with an odd song here and there, and it was not good. Very beaty, heavy beat music.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
what
good.
was on your playlist then when you were in charge?
Oh, I have a bit of everything. I'll be honest. Bit of dance music, bit of R&B, bit of obviously after games. If we win, we have we get a bit of 80s on when we win. So I have a mixture of everything. I think that's why the lads like my music so much, because I've got a variation of everything.
Right. Okay.
But to be honest with you, I don't know who stepped up now. Actually,
yeah,
I need to
that
ask
was the next question.
Yeah, so we had a game. I think it was Workshop we played the other night, and I was there at the game and walked into the changing room, and they're like, Will's back, music. So I had to put the music on. So even when I'm injured, I'm still doing the music. But
well, that's it. You got to stay part of it somehow, haven't you?
Yeah,
so
of course.
You can be the DJ for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, a couple more questions. Most skillful player in the squad?
I'd probably say Will McGowan, Charlie Lennon. They're probably up there with the most skillful players. Definitely Charlie Lennon. Real direct player, skillful as well.
Yeah. Most likely to become a manager?
Tom Platt, skipper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or Scott Barrow.
Yeah. Which of your teammates would you trust the most to look after your house?
Tom Platt.
Tom Platt is what? Yeah. Just honest. He'd put all your mail together and sort of mow the lawn, would he? Yeah.
Yeah, just a top man. Yeah, honest, trustworthy. Toby Lees as well is up there. The lads will probably say I'm being biased because they're part of my car school, the Yorkshire boys.
The Yorkshire crew, right?
So, yeah. So I'm putting a lot of trust in the Yorkshire boys there. So certainly Toby Lees and Tom Platt for me. I'd let them look after my house. Yeah.
All right. Given that, then, who wouldn't you trust? Who's last on that list?
Oh, Jack Maskell.
Maskell, I knew you were going to say Maskell.
Maskell. Callum Griffiths.
Okay, right. They'd just have a party and just trash it, would they?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Don't blame them if they did, but I wouldn't be happy.
All right, fantastic. I think that probably seems like a good place to leave it, Will. So, look, thanks a million for coming on the podcast at short notice and so soon after your surgery. And I'm sure I speak for all the Darlo fans when I wish you all the very best with your recovery. And we can't wait to see you back on that pitch, maybe early next season when we're in the National League. Maybe, who knows?
You imagine coming back to National League. That'd be pretty special, wouldn't it? So
wouldn't be bad at all.
I think 6 appearances off 200. So whatever it takes, I'll make sure I get them. So
you'll get there.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Thank you for all the support, and can't wait to be back. Happy to jump on another podcast in a few months and give you a quick update if needed. So just drop me a message, Adam, and look forward to speaking to you all.
That would be great, Will. Many thanks.
No worries, mate.
Huge thanks there to Will Hatfield. I'm sure he's disappointed, like many of us, with the first test there in Perth that finished up the other day. Not a great start for England, but there's a long way to go in that. Hopefully get Will back on in a few months' time to give us an update on how he's going with that ACL injury. Guys, we might just look ahead now. It's Curzon Ashton on Tuesday. Craig, they're a bit of a bogey team for us, aren't they, yes. Curzon Ashton? So, what are we expecting from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've done a quick look earlier, it's 7 times. I think the 7th time Curzon have beaten Blackwell, and I think we've beaten them once in 7, and that was 2018, Dave Sayers' goal. So clearly we owe them. We do a win against them at home. We've won 4 in a row now at Blackwell, 4 league games in a row at Blackwell.
Yeah.
We've won, in fact, I look back, we've won 5. In fact, we won 6 once. That was a long time ago. That was Martin Gray era. At the end of the first season at Blackwell, we won 6 in a row at Blackwell. So that's the target. But for now, let's just get Tuesday out of the way and try and get beat Curzon for once. As you say, a bogey team. But everyone's will be feeling confident, and it's an opportunity. Let's kick on. We're in a playoff position now, aren't we? Hopefully we stay there.
Certainly are, yeah. So after Curzon, we've got a couple of long away trips, Michael. It's Bedford and Oxford City, I think, in the next two, and then back at home against Kings Lynn. But, suddenly you're looking at the fixture list now and feeling quite confident, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it's, we've kind of got ourselves into a position where we don't have to be scared of anyone. Teams will be looking at us, particularly at home, and, coming into the match with a bit of fear, a bit of worry about us rather than maybe the other way around. They look at the 5 we put past Worksop, the 5 we put past Peterborough Sports. With respect to those sides, maybe at the opposite end of the table to us now. But they will know that they will have a job on their hands to come away from Blackball Meadows with anything. And even the away games, like certainly early part of the season, our away form was better than our home form. So we know we can do a job on the road, and I don't see any fixture coming up that I feel like we have to be particularly scared of. Even, as much as Curzon are a bogey team, we're coming into that in good form. We know that with the right set of results, we could end the evening in 4th. So, no reason to be afraid. And as Craig says, we owe them one.
How do you see the top of the table shaping up, Craig, with Shields and Fylde? There's a bit of a gap there, isn't it? But do you think it's not insurmountable, that A club, it doesn't have to be us necessarily, but no. could catch them possibly?
I'd be amazed if it's one of either of those two teams don't finish top. I mean, I think it'll be Shields. I assume it'll be Shields. The calibre of player they signed in the summer was remarkable. Obviously, the owner there decided to put some more money in. So, no, Shields, I think we had a test, and obviously Fylde. But there's nothing in the division to worry about in terms of opposition. As we demonstrated against Fylde and Spennymoor yesterday, we're 6th, and I think in the table before we played them, and we beat them. The one thing we should say about Spennymoor, by the way, they did have a lot of injuries yesterday. I think maybe 4 or 5 players out, injuries and suspensions and things.
Yeah, Glenn Taylor being missing was the big one, I suppose.
Yeah, he's the big one. Yeah. And then Ethan Robson. I'm not sure if Ramshaw was fully fit. He's just come back from injury. So bear that in mind. But still, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed the win.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we'll finish with a quiz. And Craig, you've got unfinished business with Michael after the last quiz.
Revenge is on the agenda.
Just to remind listeners, a question. I was asked a question: how many games did Darlington lose in the 2012-2013 season? And I knew the answer was 4 or 5. So I said 1. I think I said 5. So Mike left Mike with no option other than to go for 4. And guess what? Mike technically got it right, but Mike.
Not bitter at all, is he?
He's not, is he? No.
Yeah.
No, at least he's not holding on to it. Yeah.
And last time out was the whole Dan Burn debacle, which I wasn't involved in. But
all right. Well, let's see how you go with these today, Craig. We're going to do 4 questions each, guys. Okay. I've got a tiebreaker if it's needed. So go on, Craig. We'll let you go first in this case. Here we go. Question 1 for you, Mr. Stoddart. The oldest player to appear in the Premier League is a former Darlington loanee. Can you name him?
The oldest player? John Burridge.
John Burridge. Correct. Yep. Do you know how old he was?
When he played for Darlington or in the Premier League?
When he played for Manchester City.
I think when he played for Darlington, I think he was 45. So I'm going to say 43, 44 for Man City. Is that about right?
I can tell you, yes, you are right. 43 years, 5 months and 11 days. So, well done. You don't get an extra point for that, I'm afraid. But, yeah, well done. All right, Michael, move on to you. Staying on this old player theme, I can tell you the 26th oldest player to play in the Premier League is also a former Darlington player, having played for Hull City in 2008. Who is he?
Given you've mentioned Hull, I'm going to go for Dean Windass.
Yeah, it was a bit of a clue. That one is in Hull City. Yeah,
I think Dean Windass. That, I might have been left.
Yeah, want to guess how old Dean Windass was when he played for Hull City?
Was he
34, 35, something like
Oh,
that.
38,
no,
wasn't he?
I'm much older.
38,
He was 39,
Yeah.
39 years, 8 months and 24 days. Does anyone remember him taking the worst penalty ever
Yeah, I do,
at the arena?
I was there.
Yeah.
I interviewed him
I
after
was
the game, and he said something like,
Oh, did you?
Yeah. He said something like, my wife would have taken a better penalty with her heels on. It was dreadful, wasn't it? It was absolutely remarkable. That's the benchmark.
It was like an absolute p roller, wasn't it? It was because I think we lost that game 1-0. I think we get that penalty. I can't remember the opposition. We get that penalty in injury time. Think, we're going to nick a point here, and then I've never seen it on TV. I don't know if anyone there's a video of it anywhere, but it was dreadful.
Yeah, I think it was Bury, and the footage should be somewhere because I mean. Quite occasionally, there's an infamous Pat Nevin penalty for Chelsea in the mid '80s, which is if you've not seen it before, Google that one, YouTube. It's dreadful, and Dean Windas's was the same. He passed it back to the goalkeeper. It literally wasn't a penalty. He passed it back to the keeper.
No, he passed it back. It was absolutely appalling, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, right, it's 1-1. So we're going to move on. Question 2. Back to you, Craig. Again. I'm staying on the oldest Premier League player list here, guys, okay? So I can tell you another former Darlington player is on that list, appearing at number 42, having played for Wigan at the age of 38 in 2011. Can you name him, Craig?
He was 38 in 2011 for Wigan. Mike Pollitt.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Well done, yeah. Correct, yeah. Mike Pollitt, he came on as a sub for Chris Kirkland in a 1-1 draw with Bolton Wanderers. Well done, yeah. So I think he was at Darlo that was like mid-90s, wasn't it?
He was a good player down in the mid-90s, and he ended up, his sale to Notts County, was it?
Notts County.
Notts County, upset David Hodgson, and then he ended up resigning because I think along those lines. I once saw Mike Pollitt putting petrol in his car near my parents' house on the Arm Road. Bit of trivia for you there.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
You can have that. No problem. I've got more with
I'll have that, yeah. Maybe most random place you've seen a Darlo player in public. Yeah, well, Craig's got his. I don't know. You got one off the top of your head, Michael?
Actually, no.
Put you on the
I
spot.
think I do.
All right. Any listeners out there, most random place you've seen a former Darlo player, past or present? I once saw Pedro Paulo and Rui Neves outside the Dolphin Centre, chatting to some young girls.
Oh, blimey. Okay.
Yeah, Rui made me wait. I got my personal organizer school book signed by both of them. I had to wait for Pedro just to finish his conversation before I was.
He was brilliant, by the way.
Yeah, the late Pedro Paulo, of course. Yeah, sadly. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I digress. Yes, 2-1. Yeah, Michael, your question, staying on the age theme. Who is Darlington's youngest ever goal scorer?
See, as soon as you said youngest ever, I was heading towards Curtis Main, but I can't remember whether he was... Was it Curtis Main?
Is that your final answer?
I'm going to say yes, but I have a feeling it isn't.
Okay.
And I just can't think of...
You got to trust your gut, Michael. You're correct. It was Curtis Main at the age of 16 years, 8 months, and 1 day. Can you remember the game he scored in, anyone?
No. I'm not sure what the goal
was.
I remember him playing
a late winner against Grimsby Town. Darlington won, Grimsby 0. I think he come on as a sub for Franz Bergmeier. There you go.
I might have got this wrong, but we had a young lad called Connor Lowe, who did he score against Dunstan in 2012?
All right.
Yeah, I might be wrong with that one, but yeah.
Any listeners out there can confirm that? Is Connor Lowe's Darlo's youngest ever goal scorer? I can't even remember Connor Lowe's, to be honest with you. That would be the Northern League.
Played. I think he right. And if he played, I think he was younger than Curtis when Curtis played against Peterborough.
Right.
Last game of the season in 2008, when he was 15. I think.
Again, listener, if you've once you've told us the most random place you've seen a Darlo player, can you answer that one as well? Anyway, you're doing well, boys. It's 2-2. So we're going on to question 3. And I'm back to you, Craig, aren't I? Okay, so Craig, in the 1992 FA Cup final, Liverpool defeated Sunderland 2-0. Which 2 players from that game would go on to represent the Quakers?
Brian Atkinson And Martin didn't play, Martin Gray. Gary Bennett.
Correct, yeah, Gary Bennett and Brian Atkinson. All right, Michael, we're going to fast forward 5 years and we're going to the 1997 FA Cup final now, and Chelsea defeated Middlesbrough 2-0. 3 players from that day would go on to don a Darlo shirt. Now, in the interest of fairness, you only have to name 2 of the 3.
97 FA Cup final, Chelsea Middlesbrough. I mean, that would have been the Borough side with like Janino, Ravanelli, all of them in it, wouldn't it? But none of them ever played for Darlo. So I
remember Janino playing for Darlo at a loan spell. Hignett is 1, so I need 1 of the remaining 2, please.
Robbie Mustoe?
Incorrect. I don't think Mustoe's never played for Darlo, has he?
No, I'm just trying to think whether he had or not, so I just kind of went with a shot in the dark. But,
all right. Craig,
I'll hand it over to Craig. He doesn't get a bonus point, though. He can have the lead.
Curtis Fleming played. Did he play the 97?
He did.
And I can't think of another one.
Can you get the other one?
Neil Cox didn't play for Darlington, but he was assistant to Craig Little briefly in 2009.
I've forgotten that.
Yeah, he was. I assume he played in 97 Cup final. Neil Cox, right back. Who was the other player?
I can tell you the other player is Phil Stamp.
Oh, of course, right. Did he start the final or did he come off the bench?
That goalie.
Not sure if he started or not, but yeah, he was certainly part of the squad. So yeah, Curtis Fleming, Phil Stamp and Craig Hignett. Yes, Phil Stamp I think had 8 games for Darlington. Is it the mid-noughties? Actually, I saw Phil Stamp score his only Darlington goal away at Shrewsbury. Joe Hart was in goal for Shrewsbury. It was a great free kick. Yeah, I remember that.
Trivia.
We lost 3-1, but it was a good free kick if you were there, anyone. But all right, so Craig, 1 question left. This is to win. These are quite easy now. Writing these, you're going to get these easy. All right, Craig. Jason DeVos joined which Scottish club in 1998 from the Quakers?
Dundee United.
Dundee United is correct. And Michael, just to finish us off then, David Priest joined which Scottish club in 1999? Aberdeen, correct. I think he led it. Did he let in 7 on his debut? Is that what happened?
I think it was only Celtic. It was only 6. Steady on Adam.
Was it 6? 6 was, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. So there you go, Craig.
Finally, I needed that.
Revenge is sweet.
I needed a confidence booster. I needed that.
That's it. Yeah. All right. Well, maybe you can have a final showdown a bit later on in the season.
Best 2 out of 3 will settle.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll do that. All right, guys. We shall leave it there for today. Thank you, listener, as well. If you can give the pod a review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get this, that would be great. A good review would be even greater. But yeah, all that's left for me to do is to say thank you to my guests. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
And thank you to Michael.
No worries, been a pleasure.
And we will be back next month, of course. Thank you for listening.